Quitting has a cost. Most people don't calculate. Continuing has a cost. Everyone can say. Quitting feels like relief in the immediate frame. Feels like putting down the weight. Feels like ending the pain. Feels like the reasonable and intelligent choice. Feels like finally listening to the body's voice. But quitting has a long bill that arrives the morning after. Has the quiet cost of the identity and the chapter that didn't get written. Has the compound of the not done. Quitting turns out harder than the continuing when the accounting's right. I used to calculate the cost of continuing and miss the cost of quit. Harder to quit than to continue once I ran the full audit. Harder to quit than to continue when you run the real math. Harder to quit than to continue when you look down the path of both directions and you see what each one cost in full. Harder to quit than to continue. That's the mental tough pull through the hardest part of the session. Harder to quit. That's the lesson. Continuing costs the discomfort of the present and the now. Quitting costs the compound of the future and the how I feel about myself the morning and the year after. Quitting costs the narrative, the story, and the chapter that would have been. Cost the version of myself I would have meant. Harder to quit than to continue. That's the real offset. Now I run the full cost of the quitting before I choose to stop. Harder to quit than to continue. That's what keeps me at the top. I used to calculate the cost of continuing and miss the cost of quit. Harder to quit than to continue once I ran the full audit. Harder to quit than to continue when you run the real math. Harder to quit than to continue when you look down the path of both directions and you see what each one cost in full. Harder to quit than to continue. That's the mental tough pull through the hardest part of the session. Harder to quit. That's the lesson. Harder to quit than to continue. Keep going. Five seconds is all the hesitation gets. After five, the body moves. Go. The body moves. Hey, hey. The hesitation window is the most expensive real estate in the mental tough's architecture. That's the gate where the negotiation happens, where the voice gets in, where the reasons stack up and the reasons always win. If you give them long enough to build their case for staying still. 5 seconds is the limit that I give the hesitation's bill. 5 seconds to prison its case and then the body moves. 5-second rule is how the mental tough removes. I used to give the hesitation all the time it has to take. 5-second rule. Left to 5, the body moves for its own sake. 5-second rule. The hesitation gets 5 counts. After 5, the body moves regardless of the amount of reasons still presenting in the hesitation's queue. 5-second rule. 5 seconds is what I hesitation is the most dangerous sustained state, because the longer it runs, the more the reasons accumulate into something that feels like wisdom when it's actually the stall. The 5-second window closes, hesitation tall. Before it fully opens, the body's already in motion. Before the reasons finish building their devotion to the staying, to the stopping, to the choosing not to go. 5-second rule, after 5 the body says no more slow. I used to give the hesitation all the time it has to take. 5-second rule, after 5 the body moves for its own sake. 5-second rule, the hesitation gets 5 counts. After 5 the body moves regardless of the amounts of reasons still presenting in the hesitation's queue. 5-second rule, 5 seconds is what I give to you. Then I move, then I go. 5-second rule, the body overrides the slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Body moves. Storms loud, I'm louder inside. Everything outside the window of the moment is moving fast. Every signal in the environment says nothing's gonna last. In the current configuration, everything is shifting and loud. Every piece of information coming in through the crowd says adjust, says react, says the ground is no longer where it was, says the certain has become uncertain, says it does what it always does in the storm, says panic is the move, steady in the storm is the mental toughs only grew. I used to let the storm's volume set the speed that I moved at, steady in the storm. The storm doesn't get to do that. Steady in the storm. The storm gets loud, I get quiet. Steady in the storm. I don't participate in the riot of the panic and the urgency and the noise of the break. Steady in the storm. That's the mental tough take. Storm loud, I stay clear. Steady in the storm. That's the gear. Practice the steady in the smaller storms first. Build the muscle of the calm, deliver a response through every hustle and every disruption that arrived in manageable size. Before the large one tested everything behind the eyes. Now the large ones come and find the steady already installed. Not because the storm is small, but because I've already called upon the practice calm and found it there when I need it most. Steady in the storm as the mental tough goes. I used to let the storm's volume set the speed that I moved at, steady in the storm. The storm doesn't get to do that. Steady in the storm. The storm gets loud, I get quiet. Steady in the storm. I don't participate in the riot of the panic and the urgency and the noise of the break. Steady in the storm. That's the mental tough take. Storm loud, I stay clear. Steady in the storm. That's the gear. Steady in the storm. Loud, loud, and clear. External scoreboard doesn't always tell the truth. The internal one never lies. Never lies. The external scoreboard was a fail. The numbers were below the target, below the usual trail of output, below what the metric said was a good day. External scoreboard called it a loss and had it say, but the scoreboard in my head was running different math. Counted the showing up through the fog as a different path. Counted the 2 extra reps I didn't have to do. The scoreboard in my head gave a different review. I used to let the external scoreboard write the final verdict. The scoreboard in my head is the only one that's worth it. The scoreboard in my head counts different things. Counts the showing up, counts the fighting through the stings of the difficult and the hard and the far below the best. The scoreboard in my head passes what the external test would fail, because it counts the real. The scoreboard in my head, that's the deal. External scoreboard is a tool, but it's an incomplete one. Doesn't count the weight of the conditions that the session ran upon. Doesn't count the personal context. Doesn't count the load that arrived before the session and got added to the road. The scoreboard in my head knows all of that, runs a full math of what today actually required against the path I took through it, and the verdict is usually more generous than the external metric. More honest, more serious. Let the external scoreboard write the final verdict. The scoreboard in my head is the only one that's worth it. The scoreboard in my head counts different things. Counts the showing up, counts the fighting through the stings of the difficult and the hard and the far below the best. The scoreboard in my head passes what the external test would fail, because it counts the real. The scoreboard in my head, that's the deal. Scoreboard in my head counts what's real. Same facts, different frame, different outcome. The facts don't change, but the frame around them changes everything. Same obstacle is either a wall or the door that discipline brings to the situation. Same failure is either the end or the data for the next attempt. Depends on the lens I hold it through. The mental top is mostly about the lens. Reframe or retreat is the choice that everything depends upon. In the moment that the pressure is the loudest, reframe or retreat, that's where the mental tough is proudest. I used to take the obstacle at face value and retreat. Reframe or retreat. The reframe is what builds the mental state. Reframe or retreat. I reframe every time. Same wall becomes the thing I'm meant to climb. Same failure becomes the lesson I require. Reframe or retreat. I choose a reframe, I'm not retired from the obstacle I'm through it. Reframe or retreat. I always choose to do it. Not pretending that the hard thing isn't hard, that's not the